Last touch by Mike Anderson of the Golden Hurricane.
Another way you can look at it, most of these players in this ball club in their last 50 games, Frank, they've won 48 and lost 2.
Last year they averaged 101.5 at West Texas Junior College. They got up and down the floor. Here's a whistle away from the ball, and Ron Spittler has the call. Foul is on 42, 43 make it. Bob Stevenson, Snake Stevenson, 6'6" senior from Elk Lake. He was second team all-conference a year ago. And Bradley has the ball with only 2 points. Good D by Tulsa. Anderson shoots for Bradley and a whistle.
Offensive foul on number 11, Mitchell Anderson.
Bradley doesn't have any momentum here in the early going. It's going Tulsa's way. The foul on Mitchell Anderson of Bradley. Mike Anderson starts for the Golden Hurricane.
Tulsa can go up by 8 with a bucket here. Bradley can get absolutely nothing going offensively, and the crowd is quiet as a church mouse.
All right, David Brown, a very good player on the left wing. On the right side, Anderson slides along the baseline and runs it in. Mike Anderson, a neat shot. And it's 10-2, Tulsa 15-53. The last time Bradley lost here. Have you got that, fans? February 10th, 79. Larry Bird and Indiana State, 91-72. Braves don't intend to lose tonight, but they're down 10-2 in the early going. Donald Reese slides down the lane, goes lane, and then is called. Well, let's see, the foul's on Tulsa. Let's see who it's on. I think Stewart.
I think Stewart got the foul, blocking foul on Reese. It's on 43. It's on Bob Stevenson. You take a look here, and you see Stevenson slide up and block Donald Reese right there. Foul is on Stevenson. Reese to the free throw line to shoot 2. Donald only a 55% free throw shooter on the year. He gets 1 and 1.
Well, he went to the line and then to the lane with some authority. Reese, a right-hander. He got Bradley's 3rd point. The Braves down by 7. Bradley on the season has lost 3 games to Cincinnati, to Oklahoma in OT, and to Creighton. Tulsa has lost on a neutral court to Georgia and at Creighton. Creighton could be in trouble tonight. They're at Des Moines to play Drake. 10-3 Reese. Didn't get it, but Mitchell Anderson has it stripped. Reese picks it back up and tries. No. Rebound for real by Stevenson in the blue and gold. Wild uniforms. They come down the court. Still looking at a Bradley 2-3 zone. David Brown outside left. Peekaboo down low to Stevenson. Nothing there. Bradley covering up down low. Mike Anderson at the point. Swings to David Brown. Downstairs, Stevenson tied up, but a nice pass to David Brown. All right, Pressey comes back out. Tulsa's under control. Bradley's defense is good. 10-3 Hurricane. Brown shoots. Bouncing long to third kill. Bradley gonna try to speed up the tempo. Third kill nearly stripped by Anderson. Kicks it to Duhart. Eyes up a shot. Didn't take it. Slides and shoots and blocked by Stewart. Here's nearly a steal by Hassan Houston. Over and back. Nicely done.
Frank, right now, it appears to me that Tulsa wants this just a little bit more than Bradley does. They're going to have to get things in gear. They have no momentum whatsoever. And Mitchell Anderson has touched the ball only once, and he played almost 6 minutes.
Be surprised what a couple of baskets will do for crowd momentum, and that's a whistle down low by Spittler, and it's against Bradley.
Fouls on Donald Reese.
You know, a score that really surprised me in the Valley was at Terre Haute on Saturday night. Tulsa whiplashed Indiana State 81-59. Now, Indiana State's not Bradley, but that score is really a surprise.
Well, Creighton went to Indiana State and only beat them by 1.
Anderson outside. Bradley's only got 3 points. Look at that! Pass to the goal to Pressey, who laid it in. Almost slammed it. 12-3 Hurricane.
Beautiful lob pass. Beautiful lob pass to Pressey. There you see the score.
Hassan Houston starts baseline. Kicks it back out top. Anderson. Third kill. Bradley needs a hoop. Third kill, steps in, puts it up, doesn't get it. Got it back. Steps in again. Got that. Tulsa hurries the ball up this time. Here comes Pressey. Neat pass down low to Stevenson. 14-5 Tulsa.
They'll play that transition game, and Dick Versace says, let's talk about this.
Timeout on the court to score. Tulsa 14, Bradley 5. We'll be back in a moment.
Ask any snowman. The cold winds of January can only mean one thing: a heat wave of unbeatable values during Cohen's January clearance. Choose from America's finest furniture, carpeting, TVs, and appliances. Cohen's is reducing prices on RCA XL 100 and ColorTrack TVs with savings of up to 20%. Save on floor models, odds and ends, and one-of-a-kinds. Prices slash now up to 20% only at Cohen's. Quality merchandise, unbeatable prices. That's value. That's Cohen's.
At University National Bank, we pay you for checking with us. In addition to being your full-service family bank, University Bank offers a checking account that earns you money. A full 5.25% regardless of balance. There's no limit on the number of checks you can write, and a $1,000 average monthly balance means no checking charge. It pays to check with us. University National Bank, the bank that begins with you.
It's 14-5. The Golden Hurricane lead the Bradley Braves with 14 minutes to go in the first half, and Bobby Ford's back in for Hassan Houston.
We have a halftime score, Frank, at Drake, at Des Moines. Drake leads Creighton 35-33. 2-point lead for Drake at the halftime in Des Moines against Creighton. I want to mention our halftime show this evening for the folks in Central Illinois. Frank Bassoni was in Los Angeles a couple of weeks ago and had an opportunity to talk with NBC sportscaster Dick Enberg. You folks in Central Illinois will see that. You folks in Tulsa will not. And near the end of the half, for everyone, including you folks in Tulsa, I'll be talking live with Keith Hernandez of the St. Louis Cardinals. St. Louis Cardinal Caravan is in town. We'll have that interview for you at halftime.
Looking forward to it. All right, Bradley's got some work to do. They're 9 down. Here's Mitchell Anderson outside left. Got it. A high runner.
Mitchell Anderson has to take control of this game, Frank. That's only about the second or third time he's touched the basketball tonight, and he's got to take charge.
Bradley's down by 7. Pressy, tricky dribble, front court. Gives over to down low inside Greg Stewart with a layup. Tulsa's got a 6'10", 240 freshman in Bruce Vanley. You'll see him in a moment. 53, takes up most of the screen when he's on there.
And they're beating Bradley underneath. That's the second or third backdoor play, so to speak. And there they tried to force one inside. Bobby Ford throws it away, and it's another turnover.
All right, down the court comes Tulsa. On the left side, it's Stewart. Down low, blacked away by Bradley. Picked up by the Braves. Here comes Duhart. Bradley's down by 9. Dewey all the way to the lane, puts it up and in. Eric Duhart.
Nice move by Eric. They thought he was going to pass off, and they dropped off of him a little bit, and he just went on around and took it up and in.
All right, Presley's outside with the ball. He goes down the lane, charging on Pressey. Bobby Ford got position. 12:51 first half, 16-9 Tulsa.
Frank Pressey's a good one. He was wooed by some of the NBA people before he decided to go with his old coach to Tulsa. He's a 6'5" junior.
Tulsa has good balance. All right, Duhart comes up for the Braves. Frank Bassoni, Norm Ulrich. Missouri Valley basketball. Reese, an acrobatic shot down low, won't go. Pressey, an equally good rebound for the Golden Hurricane.
That's Phil Spradling in the Tulsa lineup.
Okay, Spradling, a sometime starter. He plays one of those take-no-prisoners defense guys. Here's Stewart outside, looking down low to a 6'10" freshman who's in. Pressey outside left with a pop that doesn't go, and Ford fouled him.
Frank, talking about Phil Spradling, who's come into the basketball game, he was the quarterback last year on all 37 victories at Western Texas. And as I said earlier, he'll start one game, and then Anderson will start the next. So he, too, is a tremendous basketball player. He's a 6'4" guard from El Paso, Parkland.
He wants to be a coach, of all things. And here's the shot by Tulsa's Pressey, and it goes down. That's Paul Pressey, 6'5", 185, out of Richmond, Virginia. You see the smile on his face. It's because Tulsa's ahead 17-9 with 12:23 to go in the opening half. Pressey has another. He plays some tough defense, does a lot of things that don't show up in the scorebook. He missed that one. Nearly taken off of there too soon by Bradley.
Well, I think it might have been. It looked to me like he was on the rim.
Tulsa's got a trap, a zone trap, some pressure at the half court now. Look at David Brown play defense. Bradley gets the ball to Mitchell Anderson. He's the guy that they want to get some points from. Look inside, and across court the ball comes to Houston. Reese is on a wing, and third kill's gone down to the post. Let's see how that works. Hassan's outside for Bradley. That's Houston. They exchange. 11:54 in the first half. Tulsa's leading by 8 and playing wonderful defense.
And Bradley looking for the backdoor play as they cross court it to Hassan.
So far in this game, Tulsa has never cooled off. They've simmered a little, but otherwise they've been blazing. Bradley has been a little bit tentative. Across court, Houston. Bradley needs to go put one down here. Third kill downtown. Oh, he's got a lot of confidence in his shot, Norm.
He says that every time he shoots it, it looks good. Braves now down by 6.
Here's Vanley, the big freshman out of Phoenix. Takes up some room down low. Spradling starts in, comes back outside to Dave Brown. Spradling slides right. They run a little back door on Houston down low. It doesn't work. Vanley turns in the lane, lost the ball. Who's got it? Out of bounds to Bradley.
Chance for the Braves to cut it to 4. The Braves working now on good defense and force the turnover.
There's 11 minutes to go in the first half of play. Bradley's down 6, try to cut to 4. Mitchell Anderson nearly walked, comes to the baseline, stops and pops. Ran it up too long. Tulsa. Long rebound. Pressey runs it down to Brown, and a whistle. I think it's on Duhart on the floor.
Ball is on Eric. Hit him from behind. It was either that or a layup. Take a look at the replay. It was either that or a layup. Here you see Dewey coming in from the rear. Oh, he hit him from the side.
Yep. Nice look. Let's see. What's the call here?
Well, they're giving him 2 shots.
Coach Versace is screaming 1-on-1 to the official, and there's a look at him in his new jacket. He's very unhappy. There's the great camera work, guys, as Dick Versace, an unhappy man, sits down, and the foul shot is missed by Tulsa at 17-11 the score.
Pressey's only a 58% free throw shooter.
You see the clock. He's a criminal justice major, an aggressive basketball player. Here's Brown scoring, 18-11 Tulsa. Let's see what kind of pressure. It's zone pressure, 1-3-1 essentially. Third kill in the back, has it tipped away, but picked up by Reese. Bradley gets it up. Bradley's down by 7. Good basketball game on both ends for most part tonight.
Ball is on Spradling. It's usually Bradley working the trap. Now they have to learn how to break it. Tulsa has a good press defense, and they're trapping at half court.
Bradley has won 22 of their last 26 Valley games.
Mike Anderson back into the lineup. Paul Pressey sits down.
Norm will have to come from behind in this one. Oh, what a shot by Reese. He lost control and nearly tipped it in.
That was called for the foul. Reese.
And got called, number 50, Donald Reese, for the violation. Reese is averaging 14.6 and 7.1 rebounds a game this year for Bradley. Tulsa has the ball now as Spradling and Anderson work in the backcourt. Bradley having trouble scoring against Nolan. Now Dick Versace and Nolan Richardson having a few words on the sidelines, and they are talking in front of the scorer's bench down here. There's Dick Versace, and Nolan Richardson now turns away from him. Now Richardson is the tall guy in the plaid jacket, and he had some words for Dick Versace, and they weren't exactly talking about a recipe for cake. Here's a steal by Third Kill in the backcourt. Bradley runs to the bad pass intended for Houston.
Frank, we might mention that Nolan Richardson played 1 year with the NFL San Diego Chargers. He's pretty good size.
He also played with the Dallas Chaparrals, of all people, in the ABA.
Pro basketball.
David Brown outside missing. Who's got the ball? Hassan Houston for Bradley. The score seems frozen at 18-11. There's 9:50 to go. Stutter step by Anderson. Watch the setup. Down low, Reese. Spin and go and lay it in. 18-13.
And the fans have shown up.
Stewart on a nice lob pass from Vanley, banks it home. 2013. Good play by Greg Stewart. He's 6'9" and 220.
Averaging 14 points and 5 rebounds a game. We got 18 minutes left in the game at Wichita State. Shockers lead Southern 53-34.
El Smasho. Third Kill tries. Off the board and in. Third Kill pulls Bradley within 5. That's 8 points for Third. All right, the Braves come up. Mike Anderson with the ball. High lob at the Stewart. Stewart looking against the Bradley defense. Both teams have played some tough defenses. Malnati gets off the Bradley bench. Braves working D now. Mike Anderson outside. Here's a whistle. Tulsa wants timeout at 8:47 to go in the first half. The score, Tulsa 20 and Bradley 15. Timeout, Tulsa.
Oh, Harold, hungry? How about a juicy hamburger from Lum's? Delicious breakfast, thick steaks. Where are you going, Harold? Oh, Lum's is closed. This is only a dream.
A dream come true. At Lum's on Knoxville, you can satisfy your palate 24 hours a day, 6 days a week with Lum's delicious house specialties. Oh, and sweet dreams, Harold.
Anytime.
Your Amoco dealer has lead-free gasoline with 14 benefits. Everything from helping to stop knock to giving good mileage. Helping stop run-on, starting easily in winter, warming up smoothly. And to make it more convenient, all 14 benefits are in one gasoline. Higher octane Amoco Premium Lead-Free.
It's one of Amoco's 2 problem-solving lead-free fuels.
You expect more from a leader.
The fans are making some noise at Robertson Memorial Fieldhouse. Frank Bissoni and Norm Ulrich reminding you that this is Bradley basketball in the Missouri Valley Conference against Tulsa. First half action. Norm, on Sunday it's the Super Bowl on NBC. The preview is at 3. The Super Bowl game 5 to 8:30, and there's a post game at 8:30. That ought to be some fun too. There's a discussion going on down at the scorer's table. There is apparently a wrong number put in the Tulsa book, and now Nolan Richardson is pointing toward the Bradley bench, and he just slapped Tony Baroni's hand off of him. And he is really upset about something. Now the official, John Drabo, is saying to Dick Versace, stay away. There's a technical foul against Tulsa for an incorrect number in the scorebook or an incorrect substitution. We'll get the reserve. Ed Lindblad is 52. Bruce Vanley is 53, and that's the problem.
And our listing shows Lindblad with number 54. So that Hassan Houston will shoot the tee for Bradley.
Here's a technical foul, a good look at Hassan Houston.
Senior from St. Louis.
University High School in St. Louis. It's a 4-point Tulsa lead. That means Bradley has the ball out of bounds. And this sideline could get a little exciting before this is all over with.
Tony Baroni has already had words with Coach Richardson, and so has Dick Versace.
All right, Malnati gives the ball to Reese. It's interesting, the first time all year that Reese has spent a lot of time out between the rings with the ball. Malnati in the game now is 21 for Bradley. Down low, Reese, pass off his hand, picked up by Stevenson of Tulsa. Golden Hurricane where the ball is on defense. 8.5 to go first half. Vanley is 53. Mike Anderson, a flat foot jumper right there. He was standing flat-footed and drilled it from 20.
Mike Anderson, a good shooter. He's
got 6 points.
He's averaging 13 points a game in Missouri Valley play.
Cressey's got 6, Anderson 6 for Tulsa. A whistle away from the ball.
David,
foul
third kill.
on Bradley.
David, third kill.
There's third kill with both hands in the air. Junior out of Soldan in St. Louis and the College of Southern Idaho.
David Brown back into the lineup for Tulsa. Also Spradling is in there. We've got Spradling and Anderson both in the lineup at the same time. David Brown. We've got too many people on the court. Stevenson and Paul Pressey. Now Lindblad comes off.
Lindblad is the cousin of Paul Lindblad. You remember the pitcher of the American League. 22-16, Tulsa's lead, and the ball at 8:05 first half. Spradling comes down to the right corner to Stevenson, looks to the lane, can't go there. Good defense by Mitchell Anderson on a foul on Donald Reese.
His third foul of the night. He'll go to the bench, probably.
That's a third foul about 40 feet from the goal.
And here comes Bobby Ford. Donald probably won't see any action the rest of the night, or rest of the first half. Here's a good look at Bobby Ford, the senior from McClinney, Florida.
Now it'll be interesting to see who goes down into the pivot, where Reese has been trying to push around with Bruce Vanley and Greg Stewart and people of that size. Bradley's really at a size disadvantage now, Norman.
And there's a good look at David Brown, the junior college transfer from Western Texas Junior College.
Here's his foul shot, is perfect. 23-16 Hurricane.
He's hitting 80% from the free throw line, so he's the wrong guy to foul.
This Tulsa team can ambush people this year. 11-2 on the season, 3-1 in the Valley. Here's another one by Brown. Good player. 24-16. There's the score. First half of play. Bradley against pressure. Malnati wheels to Ford. Ford tries to go downstairs to Anderson. Threw it away. Bradley's having trouble on their long passes, trying to go in low.
They've been forcing it inside most of the evening and caused 3 or 4 turnovers, and I think they've thrown 3 or 4 out of bounds. It's 24-16. That's an 8-point lead. Looking for another 10-point lead are the Tulsa Golden Hurricane.
Unofficially, Rob Adams, our statistician, says Bradley's got 6 turnovers, Tulsa only 2, and that's a factor.
There's a travel by David Brown.
For our Central Illinois viewers, the hostage drama continues to unfold in Iran, and we'll interrupt the game to bring you any very new developments. We'll have a complete summary of the hostage situation at 10, and at 10:30 a special report from NBC News. Here's a pass intended for third kill, tapped away and out of bounds by Bob Snake Stevenson. Boy, Tulsa's really protecting. Dick Versace is really angry, as you can see, because Tulsa is really playing good defense against Bradley's people around the basket and the baseline. Bradley's got to loosen up that baseline a little bit. They're scoring from outside more than the baseline. 24-16. It's a low-scoring first half. Tulsa got 81 points Saturday night against Indiana State and held them to 59. Hassan Houston, a pop. Well, he can do that.
Well, he's going to have to, because we can't get the ball inside, and Hop is the kind of shooter that can put it down from out there. He's averaging 11 points a game.
Bradley's going to press on the full court, and they can play some defense too. Paul Pressey slides and glides into the front. He is a nice-looking basketball player. Mike Anderson kicks it down low to Brown. It's nearly stolen by Anderson. Brown clears. Spradling on the right side. Anderson slides it down low to Pressey. Stripped by Malnati. Out of bounds to Tulsa. Rick came grumbling out of that. He thought he stole one.
There's a good shot at the senior from Wilmette.
Spradling whirls, shoots, blocked by Ford. Picked back off by Tulsa. That was the momentum if Bradley could have picked it off. Tulsa by 6. 6:45 to go first half. Shot Pressey. Tip Tulsa once, twice, and Bradley recovers. Anderson to Malnati. Watch the tempo now. See if Bradley can get a goal and turn the crowd on. Anderson, a 20-footer. Yes! Tulsa answers as Brown is fouled by Bobby Ford going to the goal. Not a popular call in Peoria, Illinois.
Frank, in order for that to be a foul on David Brown, Bobby Ford has got to be set, and there's no way he was set. As we take a look at the replay, you fans in Central Illinois, as Bob Stevenson sets down, take a look at it now. You can see Ford is still moving.
Well, you're getting a variety of opinions from people that watch that, but from our vantage point, it was very, very difficult to tell. Close.
Greg Stewart back in the lineup for Tulsa as Bob Stevenson sits down.
All right, Tulsa's got Anderson and Spradling out at guard. They've got David Brown, Paul Pressey, and Greg Stewart up front. Bradley is down by 4 and 24. David Brown at the foul line. Brown has 5.
They call him Sweet D in Tulsa. In fact, he told me in the lobby of the hotel today, Frank, that when we come to Tulsa, and we'll be there on the 14th of February to televise the rematch between these two teams, that there are T-shirts down in Tulsa that say Sweet D.
Well, he's got 6 sisters, so that could be a contingent to start with right there. All right.
He's a player.
25-20 now, 26-20 as Brown hits 2 at 6:24. First half of play. Important Missouri Valley game. Bradley tries to answer. This is Hassan Houston outside. Way outside against Spradling. Navigates right to third kill. Third kill, left-hand dribble. He's been Bradley's most effective player thus far. He's got the ball. He stutters. He goes to the foul line and gives to Hassan Houston. Swirls by a man, kicks to Malnati. And Malnati goes down the lane for a missed shot. Greg Stewart clears it and throws a baseball pass to the running Mike Anderson for a layup. That's a transition.
There's that transition game. They're back up by 8. We also want to mention, we mentioned the St. Louis Cardinal Caravan at the game tonight. Also former St. Louis Hawk Gene Tormolen, now a scout with the Chicago Bulls.
Anderson's shot rolls home. Mitchell Anderson gets Bradley within 6 at 5:30 to go, first half. Paul Pressey, watch him move. He's got some slick moves. David Brown, who plays well all over the court. Both of them played for Nolan Richardson last year at his junior college that went 37-0 and averaged more than 100 a game. As Mike Anderson from Birmingham, he played in the title game against them in the JC title game and puts Tulsa back by 8. That's 10 points for Mike Anderson, who's a sometime starter. All right, David, third kill, starts to move and gives to Bobby Ford. Now Malnati looks it over. 5-minute mark, third kill, a 22-footer, no. Rebound on the floor and saved nicely by David Brown. Okay, Tulsa 8-point lead in the ball. Nolan Richardson yelling some instructions. Let's see if Tulsa plays a little slow. We were told they've been practicing Creighton's delay game, which is they call their 5 game. If they ever get that down pat, they're tough. All right, Stewart turns inside, got a 6-footer right home. Hey, Donald Reese is out of the game, and boy, they hurt you down low when that happens.
And Donald Reese is up off the bench. Dick Versace doesn't want to let this one get out of hand too early.
Bradley's 10 down, first half. Mitchell Anderson has the ball. He's baseline, sliding, banked the shot off. And Bradley can't buy one.
We're getting one shot. Here comes a 2-on-1.
Mike Anderson ran it home. It counts. He's fouled, and the momentum belongs to the men in blue and gold.
Donald Reese into the Bradley lineup.
Mike Anderson, all he's done is come in here and get 6 for 6 in the first half unofficially. 34-22, Tulsa.
Bobby Ford sits down for Bradley. Take a look at the replay. Here you see Anderson with the ball. Malnati reaches in. And there's Anderson there. Takes it up and puts it in as Hassan. Looks to Mike there, got him on the arm.
He's quick. He missed the free throw. And Donald Reese with 3 fouls in the game, rebounds for Bradley.
I don't have the official stats, but it looks to me like Tulsa's dominating the offensive board. We're getting one shot down here.
Anderson's going to take one shot, and he ran it in. 34-24 as Mitchell Anderson hits. He has 8. Here's the shot inside Brown. Rebound on the floor, Reese. Now Bradley can cut it to 8. There's 3:48 to go, first half. Hope you're enjoying this thing. As Bradley loses the ball on the floor, last touch by Tulsa's Paul Pressey.
Bradley's having trouble just hanging on to the basketball tonight, Frank. I don't know whether it's nerves or what. You get a good shot there at Tulsa coach Nolan Richardson.
Here's a lob to the goal to
the foul on David Brown.
To Reese, who's fouled by Brown. No doubt about that one. And, you know, Dick Versace was talking earlier this week and was talking about no real love lost between these two teams in this rivalry. This has been a fierce game, and the sidelines are very active, and I think this is going to go to be really a super second half for him. Bradley's 10 down, but this is Bradley's home court, and they're going to make a run.
They usually say that a home court advantage, especially for Bradley's a 10-point favorite. So right now we're tied up. But what scares me is that Bradley has to go down to Tulsa yet and play
on February 14th, and we'll be there to do that game live. Bradley's looking at a 2-3 zone, and Hassan Houston shoots over it and doesn't get it. Rebound is downstairs to Anderson for 2.
Frank, Rick Malnati made that play. He got the rebound and knocked it over to Mitchell. Mitchell was there and put it back up and in. So credit Rick with that one.
Bradley claws back to within 8. Look at Stewart, nearly turned it over, went to the goal. Well, if he didn't turn that over, that was a super move. A 10-point advantage by the Golden Hurricane. Malnati up in the back. This is Hassan. Wheels around 2 men, has the ball stripped by Pressey. Paul Pressey comes up in the back, has the ball stolen by Bradley. Turn around to Malnati. The Braves come the other way. Hassan spins around a man, corkscrews into the lane, and is fouled by Tulsa's Greg Stewart.
You talk about running basketball. This is going to be some second half. You folks in Central Illinois, you get another look at it here. Hassan makes a good move here on Stewart, takes it around. Good move to the basket. Here comes Stewart now, and he gets him. Hassan to the free throw line to shoot a pair, and on the year, he's only hitting 88% of his free throws.
That's all, huh?
Only 30, now he's 32 out of 36 on the year.
That's the best in town.
There's a good shot at the senior from St. Louis.
He got them both. Bradley's within 8 at 2:47. Tulsa's basketball, backcourt. Mike Anderson, who's been everywhere in the first half for Tulsa, clears it off. Will Tulsa go to a delay game now at 2:38? Let's see, they're in a four corners, essentially shell. Bradley's zone will probably have to go to man-to-man. Let's see if they do. Yep, here they come. Bradley goes to man-to-man. Now Tulsa probably will play. Here's Phil Spradling outside right. Spradling to Pressey. 2:20 on the clock. Tulsa by 8 in the ball at Bradley. Both teams have lost one game in the Valley so far. Pivotal game. David Brown. Bradley trying to work the defense, get a turnover. Tulsa trying to run the clock down and get an easy shot. They've got the hammer because the lead is theirs and so is the ball. 2 minutes, first half. David Brown, stop and go, back outside. That's Pressey between the circles. Pressey's way outside, guarded by Thirdkill. Good matchup there, two great athletes. 1:45 now. Tulsa's done a good job controlling the ball. Brown is 6'8", but he handles it all right. I don't know why that should disqualify him. It doesn't hurt Magic Johnson. Mike Anderson slides, baseline. 1:30 now. There goes Anderson into the lane, swings it up, rolling, no. Houston rebounds for Bradley. Good shot by Anderson. Nobody had a hand up in front of it, but it didn't go down.
Little 4 or 5 footer, and I think that's the first one he's missed tonight. Bradley can now cut it to 6. That was a big miss.
All right, Tulsa lines up the defense. Houston to Reese. There's 1:10 in the first half. Bradley will take a good shot here. Here comes Anderson. Acrobatic shot, no. Here's a rebound on the floor, saved by Houston, inbounds nicely to Thirdkill at 1 minute. Thirdkill, stutter step, stop, down low, and a foul. Who's it on? Basket went in, but it won't count.
Foul is on
Against
David.
Bradley.
Foul is on White. David Thirdkill, number 35. You can take a look there at David. It looks like the player was set, and David went into him. Offensive foul.
Okay, now on the deck is a Tulsa player that got hit there. Dick Versace is having a word with John Drabo of Wichita, Kansas, of Missouri Valley County. There's Mike Anderson. As you can see the graphic, the junior. Mike's out of Birmingham. They call him Mighty Mouse, and he's been mighty for sure here.
Frank, I want to take just a second here to wish a quick recovery to a big Bradley fan, Billy Roker, who's home watching this game. He's home,
a neighbor,
recovering from back surgery. We want to wish him, of course.
Also like to mention here, Norm, at 10 o'clock on News 25 tonight, Christine Zach begins her inaugural diary with a special report from Washington. Hope you'll be there to watch that tonight at 10.
Also at halftime, for those of you who may have just tuned in, Frank Bassoni spent some time in Los Angeles a week or so ago, and you'll see a very well-done interview that he did with NBC sportscaster Dick Enberg at halftime. And then near the end of the first half, the only people that will see that will be those of you in Central Illinois. However, Central Illinois fans and you folks watching down in Tulsa will be able to see the live interview that I will do with St. Louis Cardinal first baseman Keith Hernandez. You'll, of course, remember that Keith played ball in your first city at one time.
He could get a hit tonight, probably. 57 seconds to go. Tulsa 36, Bradley 28. And Tulsa has the basketball. Paul Pressey backcourt against Thirdkill. Will Tulsa go for one? They got an 8-point lead. They played very well again. Tulsa just simply hasn't played poorly much at all this year. They lost on a neutral court to Georgia. They lost at Creighton. Other than that, they've won 11 times. They beat some great people. All the way to the goal. Pressey with a brilliant move. It didn't go. Reese has it. 30 seconds to play. I'm surprised they took the shot. Pressey's like a swan coming down the lane. Missed that one. Malnati gives to Mitchell Anderson. 20 seconds now. Reese, foul line. Looking. Malnati. Bradley's going to take one, I think, here. Let's see. 15 seconds. Here's a lob to the goal to Reese. Steps in. Puts it up and in. 10 seconds. Tulsa has a chance now. Bradley's down 6. 5, 4. Pressey. He's all the way from 40. No. Rebound on the floor. That's it. Halftime at Robertson Fieldhouse in Peoria, Illinois. The score, the Tulsa Golden Hurricane 36. The Bradley Braves 30. We'll be back in just a moment.
There's a spirit that lives on in this bottle. The spirit that was born in the original Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. The beer that was selected America's best. That's the spirit that goes into brewing every glass of Pabst Blue Ribbon today. That's what makes us proud to say to you, give that man a blue ribbon.
Hey guys, hot ham and cheese. Hey Ernie, it's your favorite sandwich. Where'd he go? This is some sandwich. Really is one of a kind. Ham and cheese and ham and cheese. Melty and juicy. That Ernie. Bring him lunch and he takes off on me. Ernie, where you been?
Oh, just out for a little ride.
Hardee's, best eating in town, up and down and all around.
Remember, 1978 was a very good year. Sutan Plus herbicide controlled weeds in corn. 1979 was too dry in some places, too wet in others. Sutan Plus worked. 1980, first too wet, then too dry. But Sutan Plus controlled weeds. Other herbicides didn't. In any weather, Sutan Plus is the best pre-plant incorporated herbicide. 1981, plan on Sutan Plus, the best incorporated corn herbicide.
Ask any snowman, the cold winds of January can only mean one thing, a heat wave of unbeatable values during Cohen's January clearance. Choose from America's finest furniture, carpeting, TVs, and appliances. Save $131 on this unbeatable Frigidaire washer. Regularly $479, now only $348. A deluxe 18-pound, 2-speed, 3-cycle Frigidaire washer, unbeatably priced at just $348. Quality merchandise, unbeatable prices. That's value, that's Cohen's.
It is said that the best preparation for tomorrow is to do today's work superbly well. And the gentleman with me here today does his sportscasting work superbly well. I think the premier sports announcer in America today, Dick Enberg. And Dick, the Super Bowl's coming up, and you have the honor of that assignment again.
And that's exciting, Frank. Actually, 2 years ago in the Orange Bowl, when NBC had the coverage, Kurt Gowdy did the play-by-play, and I had to find a name for me, so they called me the host. All I remember about that is that we were, my position was on top of the press box at the Orange Bowl, and they had a 30-mile-an-hour wind that day, and someone said later that my hairspray won an Emmy Award. I had my notes all said, you know, you're nervous. Here's your 100 million people tuning in, and you're going to say, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Super Bowl 13. And just as, and it rained, and I was up to my ankles in water, and I released my grip on my notes, and they're somewhere in Biscayne Bay right now. I mean, they just went flying.
Oh, you don't need notes. You know, our area in the Midwest, central Illinois, is a terrific sports area, and we especially appreciate Al McGuire and Billy Packer and Dick Enberg. Tell us about working with those two guys on NCAA basketball.
Well, I'm sure we have enough time, Frank, but I know there's so many great basketball fans in your area, before I tell you about that, I think that we should pay compliment to the Midwesterners, because, you know, our overnight ratings usually are New York and Los Angeles. You get a beat on how many people watch the sports event. Invariably in basketball, invariably we'll get an overnight rating, and then the Midwestern core will come in and it'll jump 3 points.
Yes,
I mean, the people love their basketball, and we love them for it. Al McGuire is, if you ask me, and we're Reader's Digest, to write about the most unforgettable character I've ever met, no contest. There's no one anywhere like Al. I could tell you many, many stories, one of which about Al will show a different side of his character. I mean, he's a decent dose, New York tough in some ways, and then very sensitive. He'll sit down and cry with a kid who lost his puppy the next moment. Last year we were doing the Ohio State-Indiana game at the end of the year in Bloomington. And Al is so visible. I mean, he walks in the room, everyone knows that's Al McGuire. And so everyone's always grabbing at Al, and I'm kind of his protector. I'll say, Al, come on, got to get going. We've got a meeting, or we're going to be on the air, to drag him away from the press or the fans. And a young reporter, and I could identify with this because we were all there too, was just one more interview. And Al, somewhat reluctantly, I knew he had it up to there, but said, okay, let's go. And he went to another room, and this kid asked him questions. You know how we were. Boy, you weren't satisfied with 10 minutes. You wanted to do an hour show. Finally got through, and he was so excited. In his ebullient way, the young reporter said, what can I do for you, Coach? I mean, you were so great. Can I do anything for you? And he said, tell you what. He said, I've just done you a favor, and I want you to promise me in the next 24 hours that you'll return that favor to someone. That's what I want you to do. And I thought, what a beautiful way to perpetuate a good feeling. Now, that's Al McGuire. Yeah, return the favor. Now, if that kid did the same thing to someone else, we'd all have a better place.
Beautiful. Dick, you mentioned writing a little bit ago when you were talking about Reader's Digest writing. Somebody told me that you have written a book or are writing one. Will you tell us about that?
Well, I wrote it, and it won't be published, at least in its present form. I, about 6 years ago, went through the pangs of a divorce, and at a time when it was more popular, I think, even than now, that especially the woman unhappy in a marriage decided it was over. I wasn't trained that way. No one programmed me to be prepared for the fact that someday the woman that I loved would say, I don't love you anymore, and I don't have any feelings for you. So starting at that basis and taking the 10 count, I tried to chronicle for other men who were going through the same experience, all the steps that I encountered, and I was very open and honest about those. And I mean, you were a little bit crazy during that period of time, and then all the way to where you see sunsets again. And after I had written it, and I wrote with another fellow friend of mine, it was such a catharsis to get that all out that I thought, now maybe I better not provide that for consumption at this point. But someday, now that the last chapter is getting longer and longer and life is really beautiful again, maybe it will be published.
Maybe. Dick, I wish we had longer and longer. Thank you. I think not only are you the best educated sports announcer going, but the best too, and we're looking forward to hearing you on the NCAA and Super Bowl.
Thanks a lot, Frank.
Okay. Dick Enberg, this is Frank Bissoni in Los Angeles.
In Peoria.
So Jimmy Carter has approximately noon.
And so now it's time for Mr. Reagan to be escorted up to this platform. The sky is slightly overcast. There's no bright sun, but it's a very pleasant day, and this will go down as one of the warmest weather inaugurals in history. Probably well over 50 by now in Washington.
And it comes at the end of a very long stretch of cold weather that Washington has had. Froze the Potomac River. All the canals around here were tightly shut. Lots of ice skaters. Now everybody's turned, waiting obviously for the announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, they'll say.
And we ought to say that once this ceremony begins, the official or formal part of it, there'll be welcoming remarks by Senator Mark Hatfield, who is chairman of the inaugural committee on Capitol Hill. There will be the invocation. I believe the Reverend Don Mumaw of the Bel Air Presbyterian Church will do that. Then Justice Potter Stewart will deliver the oath to the Vice President. And at noon, the oath of office will be administered to the new President. These are the elements of what we are about to see in the next 23 minutes. Well, George Bush has some momentum now, I would say, Roger.
That's a great memory. I've forgotten that. I remember that phrase the morning after the Iowa victory. It's Big Mo, he called it.
Big Mo. Well, you know, George Bush, a Yale man, captain of the football team there, Skull and Bones, a war hero, Phi Beta Kappa, director of Central Intelligence, American ambassador at the UN, American ambassador in Peking, the chairman of the Republican National Committee, a member of Congress. There is hardly anything that George Herbert Walker Bush has not done. He is now, the only thing I suppose is the U.S. Senate or President.
John, a bulletin, a flash, one of the rare flashes in the last 25 years from United Press International. It says simply, hostages freed. The time, 11:35 Eastern Standard Time, 11:35.
Well, they couldn't have spun it in more closely. We'll be hearing more, and we will be bringing you these bulletins as we get them. That was the first, the flash on the UPI.
There's a big wink from incoming. Tip of the finger to somebody he spotted in the crowd. Just to bring you up to date, reading from right to left in that last picture, Mrs. Reagan, Mrs. Bush, Mrs. Hatfield. They're over on the far side. Then here comes President-elect Reagan, followed by Hatfield and Rhodes. And they are passing now through the so-called crypt the dark underroom beneath the rotunda.
You know, the crypt is interesting. Washington is divided into northwest and southeast and southwest and all that. And that's where those boundaries intersect, in the crypt, in the Capitol.
That center stone there splits us in 4 quadrants.
That's right.
He is the first actor ever elected president, and I know he's a professional at that, but I still would imagine that he's also got some nerves, doesn't he?
He's also the first divorced man to be elected president. Breaking a lot of new ground here today, right, Roger.
And the oldest man ever to be sworn in. He'll be 70 in, I think, 2 weeks, not
February 6th.
Not the oldest president.
Eisenhower was the oldest president because Eisenhower was 70 years and 98 days old when he left office. And Reagan will not break that record until the month of May, but that's coming up pretty fast. He'll soon be the oldest, and he is the oldest to take this oath.
That shot is of the west front door, through which Mr. Reagan will appear in a minute. Just above them, of course, is some press, some cameras, military.
Roger, I know that a lot of people think JFK was the youngest ever inaugurated. It actually was Theodore Roosevelt, who was 42 years old, a year younger than Kennedy.
President-elect of the United States, Ronald Wilson Reagan. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Mark Hatfield, Chairman of the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, will present the program.